lot of Aces games in that stretch. And I remember showing up like, Becky is about to be upset. Like,
I know.
And to shoot around really quietly, like, oh, I know Becky. And she would come over and she would say something really smart. She would laugh. You could tell she wasn't sleeping in that stretch at all.
Attention. The party is about to commence.
Welcome to the party.
What up, party people? I'm Julie Foudy.
And I'm Abby Wambach. Jules, it's so good to be here with you again.
A lot to talk about, Abs.
I know.
I agree. We've got WNBA finals, all about Asia Wilson taking over. We've got ESPN and NBC basketball analyst and rock star LaChina Robinson in the house. She stops by our party to talk about also the CBA October 31st looming deadline with all that's going on, which is a Halloween deadline. It's just bad juju. Spooky to have a Halloween deadline. It's bad juju. We'll also talk about ongoing issues surrounding the WNBA's embattled commissioner, Kathy Engelbert. And before we get to that, can we please just rewind to this weekend and Friday night at the Watch With Us party? Our first ever, Abs.
I mean, I can't.
So good.
You know how when you invite people to a party, and nowadays people are like, yeah, I'm coming or no. But like back in the day, remember when like you had a birthday party and you just like were hoping that your friends would show up?
Right. That's how you were.
That's how I felt. I was like, I don't even know if anybody is going to come and join us for our first Watch With Us party.
All right.
But Julie, I was pleasantly surprised because they came and they came
up
in droves. It was incredible.
Oh, I know. You were so cute when you showed up. You go, Julie, they showed up. I was so nervous.
I was, and it was so beautiful. It was such a gorgeous night. We rented this big, huge Jumbotron screen to be outside of the Watch Me Sports Bar in Long Beach, California. People got to bring their like beach lawn chairs, the chairs that you watch your kids' soccer games in and on the sidelines. And the sky was like this shade of pink. There was like this palm tree right behind the screen. And like we looked at each other at one point in the fourth quarter and we were like, this is how sports should be watched.
It's totally how sports should be watched. It was like under the sunset and stars with your friends in a beach chair. And Watch Me and Jax and Emmy, the owners, are so rad because they're like, come one, come all. We can take all the overflow crowd in the courtyard. We do this with the big screen and we bring our beach chairs, as you mentioned. And I'm like, that is the way you should be watching it. So,
and Jules, I just want to say one thing about the event itself that it made me feel, this is going to sound, I think, pretty cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but you know the feeling that you had when you played your first professional game? I don't know if you remember that, but I do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I remember like wanting to stay out there and not go home and like sign everybody's autographs. And I just felt like, I can't believe people are paying to watch us play. And this event was free. You got to just show up and watch. But that's how I felt. Like I felt like, okay, this is us watching women's sports and what ended up being the championship game for the WNBA finals with people. Connection is what this is all about. And this is the kind of community that we're trying to build, that we're just trying to catch the wind of, because there are women's sports fans all over this country, all over the world. I feel so tickled.
Yeah. And we met so many cool people. That was the rad thing as well, is obviously we were watching, but while, there were commercial breaks or halftime or pregame and post, like we were wandering and chatting, and it's such a cool community, the women's sports community. It really is. It's so fun. And
thank you all who showed up. And for those who couldn't make it, we're going to try to get all around the country and come to a city near you and watch a game with you. If you just want to come out and watch with us, just do it. It's going to be a blast. We had the most fun ever.
Yeah. We'll be doing a lot of these for sure. They're so fun. All right. But now to this party. Let's get the party started with the highlights and headlines you'll want to celebrate this week in women's sports. Our party starter is brought to you by Ally, the bank that's your ally.
All right, so we got to start with the WNBA finals. The Aces sweep in 4. Jules, we watched it with everybody in the Watch With Us party, 97-86. It was just so incredible to watch it with the people, but the reality is there was no need for a 7-game series structure. This was the first time they were going to do that this time. This time needed. Around, they swept the Mercury 97-86 in 4. This is the first finals that was decided by a single game in what is that?
The first final was decided by a single game in 1998. That's the crazy thing. And now we're on a 7-game series. Yeah.
And they didn't even need it. Vegas, it was led by Wilson, who had 31 points. Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young added 18 each. Phoenix, they tried to make a late stage comeback, and it was, I was excited because, at the end of games, I want there to be a good game. So I was kind of rooting for Mercury.
And they've done a ton of that all playoffs. So they almost did.
Yeah. But Asia and the team, they were too much. So, we got to talk a little bit about Asia Wilson because nobody in the history of the WNBA or the NBA, DEI, for that matter, has put together a season like she did. Yeah. In the regular season, she was the co-defensive player of the year, regular season MVP. That's the first player to win it 4 times, by the way. Yeah. She had the scoring title, the WNBA championship, the WNBA finals MVP.
It's like, just keep piling on. She's just like this, like holding it all.
And let's not
holding
forget,
my bag of trophies.
But let's not forget, Vegas was not in a playoff spot when the calendar flipped to August. So
that's the crazy
we need
thing.
to talk a little bit about that. And I know we'll talk about this with LaChina, but that to me is wild. And I don't know if this is true, but I heard that one of the big reasons what turned their season around was they did an escape room together as a team. Did you hear this?
Oh, I have not heard that.
Yeah,
I heard about the text from Asia. Oh, maybe LaChina will have that juice. I'm sure she will.
Yes.
I have to tell you, I texted Becky Hammon, and because she's a friend, and I was like, sister, holy hell, when they won. And her response back was, girl, you have no idea the stories I have. I was like, well, get yourself on at the party. Yes. Get on the pod.
Oh, I need
so we'll
to have
get her on the pod. She's like, I'm crazy this next week, but
I love her. I love her so much. She's been in the WNBA for 4 years. And how many, Jules, have the Aces won? How many?
Three.
How many?
Three
out of four.
Come on.
Not bad. She was with the freaking San Antonio NBA Spurs prior to that for many years. Just incredible. I don't know. And this stat, I just want to give you one more stat. Jewel Lloyd won her 3rd championship title. It makes her a player who has never lost even a single game while in the WNBA finals. The 32-year-old is now 10-0 in the WNBA finals. How do you not lose a game?
3, but I didn't know she hadn't lost a game. That's cray.
How do you? And that's awesome. I can't not say this. If you watch the MVP trophy, and Kathy Engelbert was giving the trophy to Asia, there was some loud boos happening in the Phoenix Stadium.
We knew that was going to happen. She knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, she knew it was going to happen. But my goodness, what a game! What a season for the Aces. Really happy for them. And Asia, who just cleaned up all of the awards, the possible things that you could win, she won.
Yeah, way to go, Aces.
Yeah.
All right, more about that with LaChina. On to the women's 2025 Ironman World Championship in Kona, Hawaii. That happened over the weekend, Saturday. 54 women, Abs, competed in, as we know, one of the most iconic Ironman courses on earth, because they're literally battling all the elements, especially on, I don't know if you've been to Kona, but it's the lava that is everywhere, the black lava. I mean, you're running, it's on the sun-baked lava fields, right? So temperatures soared into the high 80s with brutal humidity. And for those of you listeners who aren't quite familiar with the Ironman and how many miles it covers 140.6 2.6 miles. So it's made up of a 2.4 mile swim. 2.4 mile swim sounds
so
like torture.
Long. Like just because it says 2.4,
I know.
Remember, you are swimming.
Okay. A 112 mile bike ride.
Oh my God.
Okay. And a 26.2 mile run, which by the way is a marathon. So that is
full.
like swimming across New York Harbor.
What?
Okay. Biking from Los Angeles to San Diego. And then after you've done that back to back, same day, marathon. You go run a full marathon all in one day. And so it became literally a war of heat management. Literally volunteers were handing out ice bags and handfuls. I mean, athletes were like shoving it in their sports bra, in their pants, anywhere they could, on their head, anywhere they could cool themselves off. And through it all, Norway's Solveig Løvseth ended up besting everyone with her first Ironman World Championship in 8 hours, 28 minutes, and 27 seconds. And get this, this is not surprising to me because I was like so impressed by all this. I did a deeper dive on triathlete.com. Løvseth joins this rapidly growing club of Norwegians to win their first Ironman race, right? And I was like, what's that all about, right?
What's going on?
So there's like this, apparently there's this Norwegian method that has an emphasis, of course, on like sophisticated training tactics, but Løvseth confirmed it when she talked with him after the finish. You know what the other element is? What? This isn't going to surprise you, Abs.
What?
The Norwegian method is about having fun, party people.
Wait a second.
Right? Yeah, because this is such a grind. She was saying like a key element to our success is we actually find a way to have fun and we make it about community and eating and celebrating after we do these hard trainings together. And so there you have it. I mean, it's further proof we all should be having more fun in life. You can win an Ironman. The
Norwegians have it figured out.
Yeah, for sure. The Scandinavians.
We need to actually do an episode on what this Norwegian method is.
Yeah,
like, I think we should dig deeper.
She'd be cool to have on for sure. Solveig Løvseth. Okay, and then finally on the Ironman, this is the most impressive. We're also going to have her on. 80-year-old American Natalie Grabow proved that age is just a number. The 80-year-old became the oldest woman ever to complete the grueling Ironman World Championship in Kona, Hawaii on Saturday. Come on, 80.
My mother-in-law, Glennon's mom, is fit. She works out with me when she comes and visits at my little gym that I go to.
Right.
She's ripped. So I sent her this woman's Instagram of her crossing the finish line.
Oh, isn't that
She happens
amazing?
to stumble right before she crosses. It was one of the I had absolute tears. And I was thinking, I want science and medicine to have many leaps forward so that maybe one day when I'm 80, I could potentially try to do this. There's no way. There's no way. Oh my God. All right. That's amazing. We do need to do an NWSL check-in.
Yes.
What's going on in the NWSL as we're looking towards the playoffs. There's a couple games left in the regular season. Who is in, who is out. We had a big weekend for playoff push. And as we know, Kansas City clinched the playoff push. Kansas City
like 10 years ago.
Yeah, they clinched their playoff spot about 100 weeks ago. Washington Spirit also in. They get in with a tie. Orlando Pride clinches and now the third team in. And then in a cluster for the final 5 spots, there's 3 teams on the outside that are looking in, but they're still alive, holding on. One of them is Angel City. The other is North Carolina. Yes, the other is Houston Dash. Angel City gets a huge win against Houston Dash because, again, these 3 teams are trying to vie for that last spot. We're trying to just sneak in there at the end. It was a huge win. Now Angel City sits in 10th place with 27 points, but a tough slog still yet ahead because we're still 6 points behind the 8th place team, Racing Louisville. 2 games remaining. That means if Racing secures 1 more point, they are in. And we are
all right. And then I'm going to finally get to this one that's super cool. WNBA star Angel Reese will walk the runway at the Victoria's Secret fashion show.
Amazing.
Literally she's making history tomorrow, October 15th, as the first professional athlete to walk in the Victoria's Secret fashion show. And she also announced a global partnership with the brand. And the Victoria's Secret deal follows her Juicy Couture collaboration, adds to a growing list of major partnerships, including Reebok, Barbie, Beats by Dre, Tampax, Amazon, PlayStation.
Tampax, by the way. Tampax.
What did I say? What did I say?
Have you not ever, it's been a while since you've used some Tampax. You said
Tampax?
Tampax.
Oh. Now, if she could just get some of that angel fairy dust to rub off on the Chicago sky, that would be amazing. And
you think she's going to wear wings for the runway?
Yeah,
Will she wear wings?
I'm a bit surprised, Abs, they didn't invite us, Victoria's Secret, to
agreed.
walk that runway.
Like, where are you, Victoria's Secret?
Right. I don't know. All right. That is your party starter. And thanks to Ally for sponsoring this segment. As we know, Ally is more than a bank, and their Do It Right approach helps customers unlock their economic potential and guides their efforts as a leading sponsor in women's sports. And this is the really cool thing, just like us. Ally believes that when women in sports win, we all have a reason to party. Ally Bank, member FDIC. All right, and now to the partiest part of the party. We have, as you all know, been enthralled in WNBA playoffs. And with the Aces sweeping in 4 games, we thought no one better to talk all of this than the woman who has spent literally the last 18 years on the sidelines of the WNBA playoffs, covering and breaking down the league and those games. And our gal, LaChina Robinson, is a former college basketball player from Wake Forest University. That's where she played. And a current rock star basketball analyst for ESPN and NBC Sports, where she called all the U.S. women's basketball games for the Olympics. She is also the co-founder of Rising Media Stars, a nonprofit that mentors women of color pursuing careers in sports broadcasting. I love that. And now she is launching, I have no idea how she has the time to start all of these amazing things.
Seriously.
Her new adventure called The Rise, which is a personal development platform for women who are ready to rewrite the rules, step into their power. This is us, Abby, and love their next chapter with purpose. Most impressive, she just unveiled that she found a wedding dress to match her 6'4" height, which by the sounds of it is tougher than calling it a U.S. Olympic gold medal match. And oh my goodness, so much to talk about. LaChina Robinson, welcome to the party!
Over here I can celebrate with. Let me get my little.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for coming, LaChina. This is awesome.
Thanks for having me, guys. No, I'm excited to be here with you. And thanks for that wonderful intro, Julie. I have 75 jobs, but hey, here we are.
You do. Honestly, how do you do all that? I was like, she's launching another thing?
Why?
It's crazy.
God.
Well, because I feel like you have a lot going on, Julie, but it's all connected, right? It's all women. It's all women empowerment. Like, it's sort of in the same community building. So, like, why not do more? We're already here.
Right. Right. Okay. LaChina, Abs and I have been obsessed with the WNBA playoffs. And so we were like, we got to get LaChina on to take a deeper dive with us because we have so many questions. My first question is, if I had come to you in early August and said, who would win the WNBA title this year? Would you have ever said the Aces?
At that point, no.
No, right?
And in fact, because I happened to be courtside for their 53-point loss to the Minnesota.
Oh, you were. Yeah. Talk about that. That was like August 2nd or 3rd, right?
Oh my goodness. Pam Ward and I were sitting there in shock. Like, we could not believe what we were watching. And keeping in mind, the Aces are the Aces, right? At this point now, they've won 3 championships in the last 4 years, but they did not look like themselves at that point in the season.
Yeah.
There was so much that had gone on. And to lose like that at home, like, it was the worst loss in WNBA history. We were like, what is going on here? So no, I had absolutely no clue that they were going to turn things around the way they did. And it's one of the most incredible stories that I've been a part of in the WNBA in my time, because you just don't rise like the Phoenix that late in the season and win the championship and sweep in the finals. Like, you really have to give so much credit to Becky Hammon, that organization, obviously the play of A'ja Wilson across the board. It was phenomenal.
Okay, Abs, here's something I've learned from years of competing. Here's what we know. You do not get there alone. There's no way. Even the best players, you need a coach. You need someone who sees the big picture, who keeps you accountable, maybe helps you make your next right move. We need that support. That's what we know. We've known that.
I mean, and also, while you might not be chasing an actual championship, you are chasing a meaningful life. And that's where strawberry.me comes in. They really have made high quality career coaching accessible for everyone, matching you with a certified coach who is very invested in your growth.
Yeah. And what's really cool is that together with this coach, you can clarify your goals. You can break through in terms of maybe what's holding you back, which we all have those things that are holding us back. You can build like real confidence, not just for your next job, of course, but for the life that you want. And I think it's important to remember your future shouldn't just happen to you. With the right coach, you get to actually write it. You get to shape it. You get to write that next chapter on your terms.
All right. And if you're ready to get unstuck, visit strawberry.me/welcome to the party to claim a special offer and to get started today. That is strawberry.me/welcome to the party. Stop settling, folks. Start building the career and the life you actually want. Okay, so Jules, Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton cross training Tread Plus powered. It's the most incredible thing. It's powered by Peloton IQ.
Yeah, have it. It is amazing. And as you can imagine, Abs, I'm pretty particular about how I work out because I can't just like run on my own anymore. I can't just run like that. Like, obviously we spent our life doing that and training that way, but it is the hardest thing and I won't do it. I just won't. I won't do it anymore. It's not enjoyable. And that's why this new Peloton Tread Plus is amazing, because you get all the classes, of course, in front of you. So you feel like you're in a class, but you can totally mix things up. You're not just running. You can swivel that screen and you can get off and start doing a little boot camp on the side. It's so cool. The swivel, I was like, what?
It's the best. It's been a game changer for me because, like you, I can't run, but I can't run because I have foot problems. And so the tread and the forgiving nature of the actual tread helps me to be able to actually move. I can walk on there. I can get an incline on there. I can swivel that screen. It's just
in your basement.
Cool.
It's down
and
there
my
in your
wife
basement.
loves it. Seriously, I'm stunned at how much I actually didn't know I needed this. It mixes up my weekly routine. It's guides by instructors. Like, I feel like I've got friends and I've got trainers on my side now.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it too. I love it. So let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. It does it all. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
Okay, so this is kind of inside secret stuff. Alex Morgan has her retirement game coming up later this month. And I actually had to go record something. And I was like, let's get an Airbnb near my house, because sometimes like it's hard to have a whole crew come inside the house. So it's like, really awesome that I could, even in my hometown area, get an Airbnb to kind of serve as like a external studio in a way to shoot this like lovely little fun thing that I'm shooting for Alex Morgan.
Shh.
Yeah.
Shooting for Alex Morgan. Shh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing too. Like, we've been blessed with being able to travel a lot through U.S. soccer and the national team. But for me, Abs, I don't want to stay in hotels anymore. I just don't. I don't. I want to be in a place that feels like a home, where you can all gather, you can cook, you can feel a little bit more settled than just you have your room. And mind you, we've stayed in some really nice rooms, but like, I want to be able to do that. And the really cool thing is that I've discovered, Abby, that now when we go travel and our home is sitting there unused, you can swap places with a friend, right? You could check out hosting on Airbnb. And so while you're off, like having your fun with your friends and family and making new memories, you can make a little extra cash while you're away. How cool is that?
I love
it.
I love this idea. And with Airbnb's co-host network, I think that it's making it simpler than ever, right? Like a co-host can basically take care of everything from crafting your listing and responding to guests to managing bookings and even
They can even stage your home. They can stage your home. They can like decorate your home.
I mean, just find a co-host at airbnb.com/host. Go ahead and do it. Make some money when you travel.
Do it. The storyline of them literally in August, they were 500. Then they have that 53-point loss to your point to the Lynx, point loss to the Lynx. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is insane. The
what
run
happened?
They go on. Yeah. And then they go on a 16-game win streak to close out the season.
How?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
So there were a couple of things that I point to that I think were kind of multiple turning points, if you will, during the season that led up to what we saw in this finals run. And it goes back to an early move by the Aces front office, bringing in Alyssa Smith. It was obvious to start the season that A'ja Wilson needed more help on the interior, rebounding, more floor spacing. Every year is different. I mean, you guys know that. No matter what happens in terms of the core players, the roster, coaching staff, like something is always changing. And for this team, a lot changed from last year coming into this year. In particular, their supporting cast, like Tiffany Hayes, Alicia Clark, like a lot of their veteran, more experienced players that were backups, Sydney Colson, were no longer there. So we knew that there was going to be some tweaking and some changes there. So to start the season, it was like A'ja needs more help. They trade and bring in Alyssa Smith, who was a number 2, very talented, is still growing as what I think will one day be a superstar in this league. But you're like, okay, at least they got someone on paper that can help A'ja Wilson. But it didn't fix things right away. I mean, this was fairly earlier. This was before All-Star break. So they're chugging along and moving. Becky also has a new coaching staff. You can imagine what that's like on a team where everyone's been together for a very long time, trying to get chemistry, et cetera, et cetera. But it still was not clicking. And they don't have a GM on paper, but Nikki Fargas and Becky Hammon get together in my mind, and they kind of put together these moves. But they shaved a couple players off of the roster, right? Cheyenne Parker-Tice eventually comes in, but I can't say she was a big part of this run. But Jewel Lloyd goes to Becky Hammon and tells her that she wants to come off the bench. Now, when you look at all those changes, I mentioned the experience that they lost. Jewel Lloyd coming in was supposed to be a game changer, right? Kelsey Plum obviously was the biggest loss out of their starting lineup. So you bring in Jewel and you're like, okay, we got Jewel Lloyd. She's won a couple WNBA championships. She's an all-star, like a fantastic player. This should help us. And she just was not playing well early in the season at all. At all. So she goes to Becky Hammon and she asks to come off the bench. And you guys know, and I don't know what the comp is on the soccer side, but to have a player of her caliber say, I'm going to take a step back, like let the starters go and do their thing. And I think I should just come off the bench and really play second fiddle to these stars. And
it is crazy, by the way. Who were like, I'm gonna provide a spark, but take me out of the equation and then let me come in and provide a spark.
It's just genius to me. Like, I think like if you know yourself and you're like something's not right, and you know you're kind of the kind of player that if you are sitting on the bench, that's going to kind of light a fire under you in a way, because basketball is a little bit different than soccer, where there's more substituting. You're coming in and you're going out of the game a little bit more. In soccer, like if you go off, you're out essentially. Like you're out for the half or the rest of the game. So I love that she did this. Like this is such an important leadership tactic that that can help implore confidence in the players that are on the court. I just love this. This is incredible.
He essentially took a step back so that the team could take a step forward.
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't see that happen often. So I feel like those things, between adding Nalissa Smith, Jewel Lloyd coming off the bench, this team just having an opportunity to figure things out. Becky Hammon was brilliant, though. I can't lie. I mean, Becky Hammon and the way she managed her team with the expectations, with the ups and downs, with all the changes, like she's phenomenal. And what the way she managed all of it along the way, can't say enough about her role in all of it. But of course, you also have A'ja Wilson.
Yeah, of course. That helps.
Arguably the greatest WNBA player ever at this point. I mean, she's earned the right to be in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A'ja Wilson, another leadership moment. I read about the texts that she sent to the team in terms of trying to think about, okay, how after that 53-point loss to Minnesota in early August, and they're sitting at 500. They're out of the playoff. They don't even have a playoff spot at the moment, right? There was, I think, 6 weeks left in the regular season. She's thinking, okay, how am I going to get this team fired up?
Yeah.
And she sends that text, which
what was
says,
in the text?
The text said, if you aren't embarrassed by this loss, then don't show up. You're not wanted on this team. Don't show up to the gym. You're not wanted on this team, and you're not welcome. And that is never going to happen again. If you are on board with that, then come with me to the gym.
Oh my God. I will follow you anywhere you go, A'ja Wilson.
Leadership at its finest. Yeah. I mean, wow. And to think she's not even 30 years old. Like what this organization has accomplished in her time, being drafted number 1, this team moves to Vegas, everything's new. Bill Laimbeer was the head coach at the time. But we've literally watched A'ja Wilson grow as a leader, as a player, as one of the best to ever do it. And it's moments like this, as you guys know, that are defining moments. Like how we choose to respond could be the determining factor in whether we don't make the playoffs at all or we win a championship. Yeah. And for her to have such a pulse on the team and know how to motivate them and how to respond as a leader, I mean, I did not tell y'all, I did not see this coming. I wasn't on that text though. So if I was on that text, I might have known it.
You would have known.
Yeah.
16-game winning streak to close out the season. They go into the playoffs as the number 2 seed, and then the rest is history when they make it to the final and sweep. We've been talking about Becky and the ability in the moment to deal with all of that. I mean, her at her press conference, LaChina, was amazing to watch because, I mean, the stories they must have and the emotional roller coaster that they lived going through all that. I mean, big props, as you mentioned, to her as well.
Yeah. I mean, you have to have the right level of like emotional maturity, connection to your players. And that's what I think Becky really has, is she has like such great relationships with her players that no matter what the moment calls for, they respect her. They will follow her. They respond to her. And that's because of what she's built over time. It doesn't just happen in 1 year. And I think some of that is honestly what we saw on the opposite side with Phoenix, where Nate Tibbetts, with some of his stars like Alyssa Thomas and Satu Sabli, like it was his first time being in the trenches with this group. The Aces have been in the trenches before.
Yeah.
Becky has been stacking up wins with her players relationally for a long time. So she just, again, knew the right buttons to push and knew how not to. I remember, because I had a lot of Aces games in that stretch, and I remember showing up like, Becky is about to be upset. Like,
I know.
And to shoot around really quietly, like, oh, I know Becky. And she would come over and she would say something really smart. She would laugh. You could tell she wasn't sleeping in that stretch at all. But she managed everything so well.
I love the fourth quarter of that fourth game. 40 seconds left. She's still staring out on that court, like nothing is promised. And I turned to Julia, I was like, I love her intensity so much. And like that intensity is something that the players themselves grow to understand as love, because that intensity is a requirement of the intensity of the players on the court. And some coaches can pull it off and some can't. And that's the truth, right? And so for Becky to be able to pull it off and get this third win, this third championship for the Aces is incredible. But I do think we need to turn to Fee's comments and the CBA. Jules, you want to set this one up?
Yeah, Abby and I were watching Fee's comments, LaChina, and we've discussed this on the podcast already. We were like, oh, she has gotten to the point where you are, and we have gotten to this point before in CBA negotiations where you were like, I cannot. I've tried to reach out. We've tried to negotiate. We've tried every single thing we can try. And like, I can't take it anymore. And so that 4-minute statement that she read, we were like, oh, she has hit the point. I know that point. What was your reaction to it, LaChina?
Whew. That Nafisa and the players were fed up.
Yeah.
That they were fed up. Now, what I didn't know was the degree of disappointment around the lack of relationship with Kathy. That's the point that I think is a little different, maybe even from what you guys are explaining that you went through in CBA. Because it's one thing for the negotiations to get tough, but it's another when you feel like you're not even being heard.
Yes.
And when you've obviously absorbed comments to the degree. And again, Kathy has said what she didn't say. Nafisa said whatever, and listen to comments like what Nafisa accused Kathy of saying. Like those things on top of the CBA negotiations to me is what caused a moment like that. It's not just we can't get on the same page. It's we don't feel respected. And in fact, if you really look at those comments, we've been disrespected, unappreciated in a way that it's been verbalized to our face. It's one thing to slide someone a piece of paper with a number on it and you feel disrespected when you look at it. It's another to sit beside someone in a negotiation.
Exactly.
And feel like you're not even being seen or respected in that situation.
Yeah.
That's what I gathered from her comments.
Yeah.
So good.
And that's the thing that we were talking about is that trust. When that's gone, it's so hard to win it back, right? And you've heard all the players talk about the relationship. Caitlin Clark mentioned it in her exit interview, relationships, but that's the piece that is so important to the business side. Yes, there is personal inside the business, right? And you heard Adam Silver saying this has gotten too personal. Nneka Gwumake on Sue Bird's podcast responded, which I thought was brilliant. Sue Bird's podcast, Bird's Eye View, when she said, yes, relationships have to be mended. And she said, well, mend them in negotiations, meaning mend them by giving us and showing us that you respect us by what you're negotiating and giving us.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. And I just, that's the piece that with the October 31st deadline looming, and obviously they can extend it, 90 days? Or is it 60 days beyond to continue to negotiate? But when you lose that piece of it, our experiences is really hard in good faith to get to a point that actually is meaningful. And that's what I worry about.
Yeah, no, it's a major concern, right? I feel like everyone was kind of calling for Kathy's job for a stretch because of what you just said. Like, we don't see an end to this. We don't see a way that these two sides, based on everything that has happened, will be able to come to the table and negotiate something. It sounds like Adam Silver was optimistic about that. But it's really, I think what stands out to me is I'm just trying to figure out how it got this far.
Yeah.
And maybe you guys can share some insight into the window of CBA negotiations. We knew this was coming, right? And there seemed to be some conversations leading up to that didn't go very well. I think Nafisa said her conversation with Kathy happened in December. Right then, that to me sounds like an alarm. That sounds like an emergency. even just in the narrative of that discussion. And so I don't know what the CBA negotiation process calls for, but there seems like there just wasn't enough connection in that time leading up to Nafisa's comments, going back to what Kathy originally said. Like I don't know what that process looks like, but I'm wondering, how do we get here to the point where it is boiling over? Like, are you not talking enough? Are you talking too much? Or is it just the fact that you are so far and no one's willing to move? I know a lot of it has to do with, again, the respect versus the disrespect and that part, but like,
why does it, like, that's a good question. Like, why does it always have to become so contentious with the players in all professional sports, not just like women's professional sports? It's like, why can't we be seen and heard as a player? Why can't we be respected? And I understand business is business and negotiations are negotiations, but it doesn't have to be this way. No. But it was our experience this way with US Soccer too. And it took a long time, and it took actually suing them and filing real grievances in order to like push and use the popular, social media and getting the narrative out there about like what is really happening here. Because it's enough is enough in so many ways, but like it also doesn't have to be this way. Like why can't it's when we go into this? Yeah, it's like, I don't get it.
Because players, I mean, Fee doesn't want to have to do what she did in that 4-minute statement, right? Like we didn't want to have to do what you end up having to say. And you don't want to have to go sue your employer as you're training for and playing in a World Cup, which really happened in 2000. Was it 15 or 19 that they sued him? 19. I think 19, right? They end up suing US Soccer. They didn't want to do that in the middle of a World Cup cycle and then go and win a World Cup with the person they've just sued. So I know it's like you just think, okay, why? Why am I not being heard? Why am I not being seen? And that has got to change.
Well, and I thought that the warning came during the All-Star game where the players wore the "Pay us what you owe us" t-shirt. Right. That to me signals, okay, they're willing to take this like to the big stage, right? They are making this a focal point of a celebratory weekend of all-star festivities. And so that said to me that these women are not feeling like this is headed in the right direction, right? And they are sending a very strong message. And the WNBA forever, as you all know, they're so good at advocating for themselves, for their communities. These women get together and I think part of the reason why they have approached advocacy in this way is because technically they really for a long time didn't have anything to lose, right? No one was checking for the WNBA. No one was trying to invest in the WNBA. So these women were like, look, we might as well stand up for what we deserve because no one is really giving us what we deserve anyway. It's not like look at baseball or NBA where there's like billions of dollars on the line. And so they have been very unafraid to stand up for what they believe. And that moment at All-Star, I was like, okay, so now here we are in July. They wore these shirts. They are speaking very loudly. What is going to be the response from Kathy Engelbert in her office coming off of that? And it sounds like not very much movement. To your point, it's just nothing happened.
Did you hear the Charles Barkley response recently?
No.
I think he was on the Rich Eisen podcast saying that that the players are walking on thin ice and that they need to be very careful because the billionaire owners will only take so much pushing. And that I thought, which I was like, oh, interesting. Which
somebody got in his ear.
That's interesting. Because you don't have an owner without players, right? Like, and I do. The other part of this is looking at some of the owners like Josiah and Mark Davis, who have been heading the conversation of we need to spend more on these players on our teams. You know, they're spending money on these millions of dollar practice facilities, all the things. So there is a population of owners that really believe that the players should be paid more and are willing to get behind that. Now, I don't know what's happening in the ownership meetings, but I know that has been a shift in the WNBA over the last few years.
Abs, it's fall time, baby. Let's go. I am so happy, not for the leaves changing color because we don't get that in California. Unfortunately, I get it, East Coast and Midwest people, you get these beautiful trees. We don't get that. We get cooler temperatures, and that I'm ready for. I am all for that. And on top of that, we get all these amazing sports on TV. So right now we've got WNBA playoffs happening. We've got the last month of NWSL of the season happening where they're vying to get into the playoffs. Angel City, let's go. We've got Women's Rugby World Cup happening, going to the finals. England is hosting. They're actually playing Canada in the final. And just like our favorite teams need the right gear to play in, I've decided that it's fall. My wardrobe also deserves a seasonal upgrade. What about you?
Oh, really? That's so good.
I know. Seasonal upgrade.
I know. And that's why I'm all about Quince right now, baby.
Yeah.
You know, they've got the elevated fall essentials, 100% Mongolian cashmere,
so soft,
starting at just $50, y'all. Perfectly tailored denim, all at prices that just feel like a total win.
I personally have been eyeing their wool coats because I need them in the fall when we're calling games and it's outside. It's very chilly.
It's cold.
Yeah, it gets cold, right? And they've got this designer look at just a fraction of the cost, which is what I love about Quince, is that this is really cool. They work directly with ethical top tier factories and they cut out the middleman, kind of like us, what we're doing. We want to cut out the middleman. So we think that is really smart. Cut out the middleman.
Yes.
And I've decided my Quince MVP for the fall is the wool cocoon coat. Check it out, Abs. For those chilly nights, because you have to stand on the field and it gets really cold. And sometimes they wear fuzzy gloves. I haven't checked out if they have fuzzy gloves yet, but it gets cold. I'm wearing the wool cocoon coat. It is so, it's got this high collar. It looks very fashionable.
Jules, do you want to hear what my MVP is?
Yeah. What's yours?
It's a European linen duvet
cover set. The duvet cover set. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, look, I had to outfit our child's dorm room, and so that's what we got her. And coziness is her most important thing that she was looking for.
Yes,
and they've
big
done
on that.
Quince has done it.
I should get that for Izzy.
So, if you want to stay classic, cozy, and ready for fall on and off the field, head to quince.com/welcome to the party for free shipping and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/welcome to the party. You know, it feels like everything comes back to the gut. And it's true. Your gut microbiome is deeply connected to your mental health, your immunity, and of course, your digestion. That's why I started taking Ritual's Synbiotic Plus. It's a 3-in-1 powerhouse with pre, pro, and postbiotics that work together to support a balanced gut microbiome with daily use. For me, I really wanted something that would help me, my bloating and my regularity, but from a company that's really built on transparency and trust. And that's what I love about Ritual. Every product is vegan, non-GMO, and tested for heavy metals and common allergens. It matters to me that what I'm putting in my body is clean and high quality, and Ritual just nails that. So it's just one daily mint-scented capsule with a delayed release design that actually gets the probiotics to your colon, where they're supposed to grow and thrive. So get your gut going, support a balanced gut microbiome with Ritual's Synbiotic Plus. Get 25% off your first month at ritual.com/welcome to the party. That's ritual.com/welcome to the party for 25% off your first month.
All right. They have a Halloween deadline looming, probably an extension to that, but goodness gracious, a lot on the line with the WNBA, and so very interesting. LaChina, on a personal level, Congrats on the engagement and the wedding and the dress and all of that. And just launching The Rise, which we want to hear more about. Tell us.
Yeah. So basically, The Rise is a platform that will encompass all of my endeavors. It's actually like an organizational tactic, right? So like
it's going to bring them all under one umbrella.
Under one umbrella, right?
Okay.
It's a lifestyle and personal development platform for women. And there'll be several different moving pieces. I'll have a podcast that will cover lifestyle and personal development.
Wait, is it going to be called The Rise too?
To be determined.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're still brainstorming.
Okay.
But it'll be somewhere centered around women, their professional climbs and pursuits. I'm going to start really focused on sports. So women that work in and around sports, like what is that like? What does that journey entail? But eventually, I'm also starting a newsletter. And I guess I'm centering myself a little bit as an expert as it pertains to personal development for women.
Yeah, which you've been doing a lot of. I mean, you Stretch Beyond, you founded that as well. So this is kind of like a 2.0.
It's something I've been passionate about for a long time. Like I do media training for women. there's so many things. So again, bringing all these pieces under one umbrella. Like I do a lot of executive trainings for women. And yes, rising media stars is something that falls into this. I'm also getting into the college women athlete transition space. So helping women athletes who don't go pro to figure out what's next after sports.
It's awesome.
So that will be another aspect of The Rise.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. All right. LaChina, our last thing we do, it's party poppers, quick fun questions with some pop. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Woo!
Okay. One WNBA player who will surprise us all next year.
Ooh, WNBA players who will surprise us all next year. Ooh, surprise. My goodness. Ooh, you know what? I am going to go with Georgia A. Moore.
Okay.
All right.
Drafted out of Kentucky. You might remember from her days at Virginia Tech, followed Kenny Brooks to Kentucky, but sat out all season with an ACL tear. And Georgia is a fantastic point guard. And as you can see from the Washington Mystics, Sonia Citron, De'Aaria Finn, they are very talented. And she is just an incredible floor general, someone that I think is going to help them with their pace. Shakira Austin, who had an incredible season now that she's healthy. I think Georgia is going to be that one more added piece that just takes the Mystics to the next level.
All right. So look out for the Mystics next year. Okay. I like that. Georgia,
I got a party popper.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. You know how Angel Reese is walking the Victoria's Secret runway?
Yes.
What runway would LaChina Robinson walk?
Yes. Let's go.
It would definitely not be Victoria's Secret, okay? This midsection where they don't tell you about your late 30s, early 40s.
Oh, I'm right there.
Oh, girl, just wait till menopause.
There are some things that I can't get rid of down here. No, Julie, please, let's pump the brakes. I would say, oh my goodness, what runway? Probably, I'm going to go with Playa Society.
Okay.
As you guys know,
yeah. They're great.
A lot of great women's basketball. Basketball, but just women's sports, apparel.
Cool.
I can see that in Esther's future. Esther, if you're watching this, I have a show for you, and I would love to be a part of it.
Amazing.
So,
All right. You have 1 hour of free time, and you cannot work. What do?
Go for a walk.
Yes.
I love walking outside in nature.
Yeah.
Like every day I walk for at least 45 minutes. I try to get an hour in of just breathing in the trees.
Yeah.
I used to listen to a podcast or a show, but I've actually enjoyed just the silence all of a sudden.
Oh,
good.
interesting.
I have the podcast ready, but I start walking and I just start talking to myself, which I do anyway. And I have just enjoyed that consistency. It's also helped a little bit. I mean, I think I've lost like 1/4 of an inch It's not very noticeable, but
you have all your measurements dialed in for the wedding, huh?
So I know, oh yes, for sure. So I know that's not exciting, but I am always trying to get outside. I'm an outside girly.
Awesome. All right. For our last party popper, we would love to know who you believe is the one person you would bring to this party. Like, who do you want us to have on to interview and talk to our party people?
Ooh, let's see. College basketball season coming up.
Yeah. Okay.
Carolyn Peck.
Hey, I love Peck.
Peck is very entertaining. She's got a strong twang, and she's got great stories from her time in coverage. I'm sure she'll be excited about the Aces win. She calls their game. So I would say Carolyn Peck. She'll get you ready for college basketball, and you'll have a lot of fun.
Amazing.
She's so good. She's so fun. Well, thank you, LaChina, for joining our party. You are such a gift for spending the time with us as you did, and all your years of doing such amazing coverage of women's basketball really is a gift as well. Thanks, darling.
Thank
Love you
for having me, and congrats
last
on the
thing.
And I'm pumped.
Oh, thank you. Last thing we do is a little party pose on 3.
All right.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay, Abs, you want to count us in?
3, 2, 1.
Come back to the party, LaChina. You're always welcome.
Anytime.
I love LaChina. I've worked with her for many years. She's been a fantastic colleague. And Abs, one thing that we didn't even mention in there, we didn't get to, which I wanted to, but the whole free agent situation with the players. You've got over 100 players that are going to become free agents next season. So all of their contracts expired at the end of this season because they knew the CBA was going to be re-upped and salaries were going to change. And it's all the big names. So go down the list of Asia Wilson, Fee, Alyssa Thomas, Kelsey Mitchell, Jackie Young, Sabrina, Nneka, Alicia Gray, all of them. I mean, get your popcorn out. This is going to be crazy.
WNBA is shaking in their boots around that statistic. It's good, though. It's good for the players. That's for sure.
And a big thank you and heartfelt just hug. I would give you a virtual hug right now for all of our party people that came out on Friday to the Watch Me Sports Bar, and how much that meant, as we said at the top of the show, to both Abby and me, and how much we want to grow that community and continue to grow that community, because it really is something when you're sitting there together and watching sports and cheering and hugging and laughing and just having a great time, the world feels lighter. It really does. And so thank you for that. Thanks for coming out on Friday.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to you all. And I think one of the most important things is, like, we really do want to build this community with you. This isn't something that Julie and I want to own, but there are ways that you can tap into whatever we're doing, whether it's Watch With Us parties, or if you haven't yet, subscribe and watch us on YouTube at Welcome to the Party channel. All you have to do is click the little bell icon so that you get those updates when episodes go live. And all of these things that we tell you about to do actually makes us capable of doing this longer and to be even more out there in the world with you all. Having you guys subscribe and follow us on TikTok, follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, because it is really important. This is what the sponsors are looking for, and this is what allows us to be able to do it. So just follow us anywhere. Be sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram if you haven't already, at Welcome to the Party Show. That's where Julie, Billy, and I will just literally bring the party straight to your feed. So shout out to Kate Diaz also.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know who else is a party person? Kate Diaz is a party person. Yeah, our friend who wrote
if you guys like
our music.
Our theme music, that's Kate Diaz. That's Kate Diaz.
I know. All right. Bring it together, Abigail.
Let's go. Let's go.
Another party in the books. Everyone, wherever you are, you could be, I don't know. I listen to podcasts while I'm doing my dishes a lot, right? Doing your dishes, put your wet paw in the middle. All together now. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the Party is an independent production brought to you by Treat Media. Treat Media makes art for humans who want to stay human. Forever Dog is our production partner, and you can watch our full conversations on the Welcome to the Party YouTube channel and follow us at Welcome to the Party Show on Instagram and TikTok.